Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in, day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on the physical appearance of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. So once again, Shalom. So basically, this is going to be a quick lesson, responding to a couple of videos, okay, that, brothers did, yesterday. Okay, start with the apostles and elders, okay, apostles, bishops, and elders, and the brother on down, okay, amongst Great Millstone. Okay, it was, they did, a couple of lessons on a couple of individuals. Okay, I believe a former member of GOCC. Okay, which GOCC mean what the Gathering of Christ Church. Okay, which we know that's an Israelite camp that's going off when it comes to the doctrines. Okay, but you had a former member. Okay, that's now doing his own thing. I think they call him going by the name of Elder Gabar. Okay, and him and another individual, be doing basically like a little podcast, a live stream. He made mention that, when it comes to Abba Bibbins, okay, which we know one of the forerunners of the truth when it comes to the Israelite ministry being pushed, what we have today. Okay, we know about Abba Bibbins. Okay, but he made a statement about Abba Bibbins, discouraged, during the time of the 60s and the mid 60s and 70s. Okay, the Abba Bibbins discouraged so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay, not to go into the college system, okay, when it comes to this place America, okay, and basically that, his response, Elder Gabar, okay, he called himself, okay, that that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans need education, okay, to build themselves, okay, which is totally off, okay, because we come to the understanding that this place America is our captivity, okay, and that we're being ruled over by our enemies, starting with Esau, Edom, primary, okay, and we're under the curses, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 16 through 68, okay, and we know that there's no true liberation or rest here, okay, when it comes to this place America for the nation, okay, when it comes to the tribesmen, okay, especially now that we're on the verge of this place America downfall and destruction, okay, and like I say, the apostles and certain bishops and elders and brother on down, okay, been going into how basically how college, okay, all these universities are scams, okay, ain't nothing but debt when it comes to student loans, okay, um, interest, okay, which is usury, okay, on student loans, okay, and when it comes to most of these participants that went to college, okay, they even went for going on 5-6 years to see their degree, and don't even got the had a degree, don't graduate, but can't even find any jobs that that match their degree when it comes to a certain position they looking for, okay, and like I say, man, in a roundabout way, more and more, as it's known that college is a scam, man, okay, and I know that myself. Okay, because I went to college for a couple of years. Okay, community college. Okay, and of course, coming out of high school, trying to get an education, because they've always been taught, after high school, go get an education and all that. When it comes to a college, okay, or a university, okay. Like I said, that whole your attention is okay. But my whole attention as well was, playing, ball, playing basketball and all that. Okay, which eventually I was playing for a little while. Okay, but also it came the time that when I was in college, this had to be about 2013. Okay, going on 2014. Okay, that I was introduced to the truth. Okay, while I was in college, man. Okay, learned about searching, knowing about, finding out that I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, following various camps. Okay, and eventually, um, came across the ministry of the Men of Great Millstone. Okay, and that changed everything, man. Okay, yeah, because while I was, like I said, I was in college. Okay, which mostly when it comes to college, man, you meet new people. Okay, of course, the women. Okay, then you find out that a lot of those women, okay, when it comes to the college, it ain't nothing but whoredom that goes on, nothing but clubbing, partying. Okay, the spirit of Bacchus. Okay, which I never, went out, all the time. Went out a couple of times. Okay, but I never wasn't a party person. Okay, okay, yeah, it was especially I went to a HBCU. Okay, nothing but a lot of drug infested going on over there. Okay, drinking, like I say, partying. Okay, then you got the facts. Okay, the sororities and fraternities and all, which go back to Greek custom. Okay, which I was never into that. Okay, like I said, the main thing, when it comes to debt. Okay, when it comes to student loans and all that, man. And on top of that, you're not being taught true education. Okay, as the apostles, the elders, been making mention in their videos, man, and certain brothers. Okay, and eventually, I dropped out. Okay, especially there knowing the truth, and go back there and I thinking that America gonna be destroyed right away. Okay, it was still hastening. Okay, 10+ years later. Okay, and that's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Grateful for that. Continue on, in this faith. Okay, in this calling. Okay, but like I say, my testimony, man, I gave up on school, man. Okay, I'm finding myself more and more not even going to class. Okay, focusing more and more on the scriptures, studying the scriptures, building myself up, watching videos. Okay, yeah, even to the point that, and I even had certain ladies me saying that yeah, you changed, you ain't the same no more, you ain't outgoing no more. Okay, you became more and more antisocial. Okay, certain of the professors, that you ain't giving no more effort in class anymore. Okay, you ain't showing up to certain presentations. Yeah, because I came to the understanding that it was BS. Okay, and during those times, okay, following the Men of Great Millstone, okay, they always been saying that college was a scam. Okay, it ain't nothing but debt. And on top of that, ain't nothing but okay, when it comes to school system, okay, was not pushing real, true education, man. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, and their curriculums, okay, like Elder Apostle Gabar said, man, they teach you how to think, not what to think. Okay, and like I said, and they made mention that a lot of these graduates from different colleges, okay, that got a degree, can't find a job at this time, getting on social media saying how they waste their time going to college. Then they got to pay back debt, student loans, and certain interests. Okay, and I'm been a victim of that. Okay, but Lord, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shema Shai, deliver me from that. Okay, that I don't have to, pay. okay, back pay, okay. But now, looking back, okay, like I said, it was a waste of time, man. Okay, that Elder Apostle Gabar, okay, and the other elders be saying, it's better to take on a trade, man. Okay, like they been saying too, but which we in the time of short time, man. But all hell at the point about to break loose as we about to come to as we in the time of the year 2026, man. Okay, like I said, even back then, I thought America was gonna be through. Okay, hey, but like I say, man, that's just my quick testimony. Okay, being in college and playing ball and meeting people and trying to live that college life and prosper. Okay, like I said, that the truth was introduced to me, and that changed everything, man. On the aspect, not only college, but how this world is going, man. Okay, and that this place America ain't our rest, man. That this place America soon gonna be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles, and the coming downfall when it comes to this place economy, man. Okay, so those the times, definitely the times that we in now, man. Okay, um, like the apostles, the elders said, this is the true education. Okay, which the word education mean to draw out. Okay, when it comes to the words of Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, this is the true wisdom. Okay, not the wisdom of this world, man. Okay, but let me go ahead and get into the scriptures. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. This says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Yeah, and when it comes to, because before we come in this truth, okay, we thought we knew everything. Well, most of the time, we ain't knew nothing at all, especially when it comes to the deceivingness of this world, okay, and the false hopes of this world, especially, attending college, okay. Like the apostles, the elders saying, man, a lot of people that get these degrees, they get high-minded. They like to show off their degrees, what they learn, okay, and while they was in school or college and all that, which they really learned nothing but the deceivingness of this world, man. Okay, like I said, cause these colleges, they push all type of curriculum. Okay, now it's Scientologists. Okay, something good, for beneficial. Okay, when it comes to certain knowledge, but it's not knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, and how the Lord, more and more is not dealing with this place. Yeah, a lot of these colleges, they, like I said, they just pushing, really philosophies, false doctrines, man. Okay, university. Okay, that will go back to the Roman Catholic Church, university, meaning one. Okay, and like the apostles and elders been going into, it ain't nothing but a breeding ground for the elites. Okay, when it comes to who they can get to help forward their agenda. Okay, and when it comes to average Negro, Latino, Native American, they ain't looking for them, man. Okay, they'll be a part of their agenda to help prosper. Okay, more than anything, they just use you Negro, Latino, Native Americans as more and more of a corporate slave, man. Okay, and it says, yeah, but when we come into this faith, okay, we find out that we didn't know nothing. Okay, and that's the rebirth, okay, of being reborn, man. Okay, throwing away what you have learned in this world, okay, and come back and acknowledging Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, the true wisdom of the scriptures, okay, the true knowledge, man, okay, that's gonna prosper for us in the times ahead, and how we apply them to our everyday walk, okay. And it says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Okay, yeah, come back understanding the truth. Okay, when it comes to us of the hopeful elect. Okay, for the wisdom of this world is foolish with Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Yeah, so the wisdom of this world is foolish. Okay, when it comes to these colleges, your universities, okay, certain philosophies, okay, false doctrines, okay, coming of these different sets of religions that our people are into in the world, okay, that Yahweh Shem Shai is not dealing with, okay. And so the Lord deceiving them, thinking that they prosper, okay, but really they being put in a snare, man, a trap, okay, when it comes to these colleges, man, being miseducated, okay, like I say, being, in debt, okay, when it comes to the student loans and interest, okay, so nothing but a bunch of madness, man, okay, our people get into these HBCUs and get involved with these sororities and fraternities, okay, people that's involved in that, they proud, okay, hey, masonry, okay, a lot of these colleges, when it comes to a certain, curriculum, okay, they got most of the, most of our people, go to college and trying to be a minister. When it comes to these, what they call them, theological schools and all that, which don't have the truth. Okay, and I remember when I was coming up, in the faith and knowing this the truth. And I used to, because I always been into the scriptures. But I remember when I first learned the truth, I've been trying to, convince certain people that have been in these certain classes, when it comes to Bible teaching, okay, trying to show them the scriptures, try to show them that they're the Israelites, okay, and 10 out of 10, okay, they buck up, they scoff, they scorn, okay, saying that, that's not the truth. We're not the Israelites, okay? God loved all nations. He's come back to save all nations. We ain't in no captivity, okay? America ain't gonna be destroyed, okay? Like I said, coming up, being young in the faith, okay? Yeah, but like I say, man, because when it comes to the wisdom of this word is foolish with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. When it comes to these false doctrine, and most of our people that's into it, man, okay. Yeah, but when it comes to us, the hopeful elect, okay, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua had gave us the understanding, okay. Let me see. Let me get on. Let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 1. And I, brother, when I came to you, came not with excellent of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Yeah, when it comes to a lot of these people that's into these colleges, they're trying to be prestige. Okay, they're trying to be eloquent speakers. Okay, trying to learn all type of terminology and you know, learn, as they got the saying, learning big words or $1,000,000 words, and most of them don't even have the where they speak big words and $1,000,000 words using these uh, education words. I say, okay, but a lot of them don't even know what the meaning of them, okay, or what they're speaking about, man. Okay, but when it comes to us, okay, you got certain brothers that's in the faith that speak eloquent. Okay, but certain brothers, as the scripture says, we're gonna speak with stambling lips, man. Okay, certain brothers when they speak, they using slang. Okay, or they might stutter. Okay, but that's not the point. The whole point is the message being taught and being taught the correct way. Okay, speaking the correct way. Okay, and it says, "For I determined not to know anything among you save Yahweh Shai Hamashiach and Him crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling." Okay, yeah, because Paul, he was esteemed in the law. Okay, he could speak. Okay, eloquent. He knew the Hebrew, the Greek, the Latin. Okay, what they call different languages. I forgot the term of it. Poly, poly. I forgot it. Basically, you can speak different languages. Okay, and a lot of these people in these colleges, they speak all different languages. Okay, certain these colleges they teach different languages. Okay, I remember. Okay, the curriculum of Spanish and French. Okay, then come to the understanding that the main language, the true language, is the Hebrew. Okay, which they ain't gonna teach that in these certain universities, man. Okay, unless you go to a Ish university. Okay, they ain't even got the true Hebrew. Okay, they speak Yiddish. Okay, but a lot of these people, they learn these different languages. Okay, which is nothing wrong with that. Okay, but they get puffed up on that. Okay, all because they can speak different languages or be well spoken. Okay, but when you come into the truth and knowing, being taught, different meanings of words in different languages. Okay, that's a blessing. Okay, especially when it comes to the Hebrew. Okay, that certain brothers speak. Okay, can speak fluently. Okay, or can speak partially. Okay, but understanding the Hebrew. Okay, that knowing that that's our pure language. Okay, majority of our people that's in these colleges, they don't know nothing about no Hebrew, man. Okay, let alone the Paleo Hebrew. Okay, they don't even acknowledge the Paleo Hebrew. Okay, and it says, verse 4, and my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words or man's wisdom. Okay, yeah, so basically, Paul was straightforward, man. Okay, he ain't trying to entice, he ain't trying to use all these big $1,000,000 words, or soothe the people. Okay, he was straightforward when it comes to the scriptures through the Spirit. Okay, and that's how the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah set up the prophets today. Okay, when it comes to the true prophets, man. Okay, because you got false prophets out there that use a lot of words, enticing words, as the scripture says, fair speeches, and deceive the hearts of the simple. Okay, a lot of these false teachers amongst Israel, they don't even tell they don't even encourage their congregation to go into words, man. Okay, and it says, that my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words or man's wisdom, but in determination of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so it's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai through the Spirit that gave us the understanding and the knowledge, okay, of this truth and how to apply it. Okay, and it says, how about it? We speak wisdom amongst them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught. Yeah, because eventually these people that's the dean as prestige individuals, black public figures. Okay, they're being uplifted or being set on a high horse or a pedestal. Okay, especially these women, man. Okay, they go to these colleges and get a degree. Okay, now they know more than you. Okay, because they got a degree or they got a certain job. Okay, high paying job, position, which a lot of these women now are catching hell, man. Okay, and speaking of words, man, you ask a majority of these women, do they know what the word woman means? They can't even explain it. Okay, which the word woman simply mean when it comes to woman or wife, okay, means servant. Okay, and they hear that they really don't want to accept that. Okay, the word woman or wife means servant. Okay, because that's due to feminists. Okay, and like I said, these women being put on a pedestal when it comes to these colleges, man. Okay, and in general when it comes to this place America. Okay, which is not but Queen of Heaven worship, man. Okay, that's why you see majority, like I said, when I've been in college, that's all you see, nothing but women. Okay, and a lot of them that I met was been decent. Okay, but majority of them, man, like I said, been nothing but whoredom. Okay, Let me see. Hey, the school I went to, okay, they came out with cases of how people, the students or the participants, okay, how they ended up. But a lot of those cases, even though they won't get the names and stuff, but they gave the numbers, the people that was tested, how a lot of the people had STDs, okay, so all type of madness, man. But let me go on, continue on. Verse 7, but we speak the wisdom of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua in the mystery, even the hidden wisdom which Yahweh by Shem Yahushua ordained before the world unto our glory. Okay, the words of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, what we have today. Okay, us that's in the faith, us that has been called, had a true understanding of these scriptures and how to apply them. Okay, and how the Lord being a guide to us by understanding these scriptures. Okay, especially when it comes to the prophecies and the times that we're in. Okay, but it's the mystery to majority of our people when it comes to the 2/3, man. Because only the elect is going to receive this word. Okay, when it comes to the 144,000 and the 1/3, they're destined to be saved. Okay, like I said, you got certain brothers that's in the ministry, because all of us come from different walks of life. Okay, they got degrees. Okay, they got certain businesses. Okay, but they put the truth first. Okay, and they apply the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, let me see. Let's get this. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. And they that use the world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passes away. Yeah, so you got certain business or aid, income. Okay, that's us using the world, not abusing it, not putting our trust in this world, man. Okay, not making the doctrine, the Israelite doctrine, world friendly. Okay, doing it for monetary gain, for merchandise. Okay, or for fame. Okay, now we do what we got to do as we in this captivity, as we subject unto payment. Okay, but we ask the Lord for our daily bread. Okay, and we know we're on the verge of this place financially about to collapse, man. And we know what's going to come when the dollar collapses, the coming of the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, that's going to replace the physical dollar, man, as this world is moving towards a cashless society, okay, a digital currency, okay. And those of our people that take that RFID micro, they're going to be destroyed by the way of the thermonuclear missiles and the chariots bringing fire at the peak of the Third World War, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, okay, which that's going to be the fate of this place, or the end destruction of this place, America, okay, by the way of fire, man. And those are the 2/3 of our people that take it, okay, that RFID micro, okay. But prior to that, we about to witness the time of Jacob's trouble, man. How much your degrees or accolades or your high position can save you in the times of Jacob's trouble, okay? As the scriptures also say that, okay, like I said, because we know that all the scripture says, as I'm speaking of, that the fashion of this world shall pass away. But in the time when all hell breaking loose, which we at that point in time, okay, this what's going to keep us stable. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength for salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is his treasure. So knowing the ways and the purpose of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is our treasure. Okay, it's the true knowledge. It's the wisdom. Okay, not the wisdom of this world. As I read, the fashion of this world shall pass away, man. Let's get on. Let me see, James chapter 4, verse 4. And it said, you adulteress, and adulteress. And we see how this place is going. Okay, this place is known for adultery. Okay, and also spiritual fornication when it comes to idol worship. Okay, these false gods, these different sets of religions, these false doctrines that our people are into. Okay, philosophies. Okay, when it comes to men, women, and our children being indoctrinated. Okay, or the young ones being indoctrinated, man. That's why majority of our people, the 2/3, are confused, lost, man. Okay? But the Lord going to deliver the elect. Okay? Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever there be a friend of the world is the enemy of Yahweh. Yeah, because this world is corrupt, is wicked when it comes to this society. Okay? And what being pushed. Okay? What's being indoctrinated. Okay? What's being influenced, enticing. Okay? You see what's going on, us that's in the faith. Okay, that's that involved in this ministry. We see the outcome of this world as it waxing worse and worse when it comes to the morals of the people. Okay, the wickedness that's going on here. Okay, it's the Lord against this place, man. Okay, to the point that the Lord going to destroy it. Okay, that's why we in this calling now, and us are the hopeful elect being chose to be delivered, man. Okay, and Lord being a guide unto us, a covering unto us, man. Okay, but for majority of our people, right along with the rest of these heathens here in America, okay, they're gonna be judged, man. Okay, and eventually the 2/3 they're gonna come back in the kingdom. Okay, and all Israel eventually gonna be righteous. Okay, and when it comes to these heathen nations, their future is captivity, man. Okay, starting with the Edomites. Okay, and the heathens that perish on this side, they're gonna be born back in the kingdom through their bloodline. Okay, to be on servants. Okay, slaves. Okay, then our kingdom is gonna be on the way of righteousness. Okay, because our kingdom is gonna be governed by the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, not the influence and false doctrines and deceivingness of this false knowledge or wisdom of this world. Okay, all that's gonna be done away with, man. Okay. Um, let's get this. Romans 11, verse 33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh, how unsearchable are his judgment, and his ways past finding out. Okay, and when it comes to the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, okay, it's unsearchable. Okay, but the Lord had given it unto us of the hopeful elect. Okay, once again, the mysteries, man. Okay, the true riches. Okay, the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, not no degree. Okay, which I believe the word degree means low. Okay, like I said, a lot of these people that former college graduates, they don't even got no jobs. A lot of these people burning their degrees, getting on social media saying how it was a waste of time. Okay, how they overqualified, overachieved for certain jobs they can't even get. Okay, then on top of that facing debt. Okay, paying back thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. Okay, or student loans. Okay, interest. Okay, but the words of Yahweh Shem Shai is unsearchable. Okay, when it comes to the there's no limit on the words of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, and every day more and more we being edified, educated. Okay, and being more acknowledgement, empowerment with this word, man. Okay, when it comes to the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, because it's everlasting, man. Okay, especially when they're gonna come to the time of salvation and the kingdom being established, man. Okay, for the nation of Israel. Okay. Let me see. So basically that's it. Let me see. Let's get this and I'll probably get ready to close. Hey, so you got Israelites out there or people that still talking about endorsing college, especially you an Israelite or trying to build here in this land. More and more they're false teachers and false prophets, man. And majority of them sold out. Okay. Because soon, like I said, this place about to be destroyed, man. And we're hastening the coming of the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, looking for a continual city, as the scripture says. Okay, world without end. Okay, a kingdom. Okay, without end, because our kingdom gonna be an everlasting kingdom. But this is Micah 2:10. And it says, arise ye, depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Okay, yeah, because this place is our captivity. Okay, and this place is not our rest. So that's why the Lord set up the prophets to teach repentance and to prophesy the downfall of this place. And only the elect is going to return and take heed to the message and be convert and covered. Okay, when it comes to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, and that's the number that we strive to be part of. Okay, because this place, America, is once again our captivity, and it's polluted. Okay, in this case, especially when it comes to the affluence, okay, the miseducation of these colleges, man. Okay, which end up but more and more a scam. Okay, and basically a waste of time, man. Okay, when it comes to trying to learn of Esau Edom, okay, ways, okay, or what he presented to be the way. Okay, like I said, with all of it being misled, man. Okay, through deceivingness. And it's all in vain when it comes to our people. They don't have the words or the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua when it comes to the truth. Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson here. And I pray that lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.